Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be doing Scepter from HackTheBox. This is a box rated about hard. And yeah, let's get on to the video. As always, I'll start by opening my terminals here. I'm starting by pinging the count for 3. We'll do 10, 10, 11, 65. We do get a response back from the service, so I'm going to start running mmap scan. So the mmISSC for default scripts from generation. Scan all ports on IP. Doing this, I'll do my verbose. We have a couple ports open. I'm just going to more into nmap.txt. Look at the ports. We have port 53 open for DNS, RPC bind, Kerberos. We have MSRPC. We have 2049. Maybe we can start by checking for some mounts here. And also for HTTP as well as SSL for HTTP. Before starting any HackTheBox machine, I like running crackmap exec as well, so I can get the host name and also the domain controller for the server. So I'll do this for 10, 10, 11, 65. I can just put in like blank for each one. And this should give us the host name, so we know that this is Windows 10, server 2019, the DOC, the DC01 for the domain controller, as well as the domain for Scepter HTTP. So if I cat my slash the host, I already do have 10, 10, 11, 65 for Scepter HTTP, as well as that DC01 for the domain controller. We did have a port open for 2049 for show mount, or for mounts. So I'm going to do a show mount. We'll do -C for 10, 10, 10, 10, 11, 65. This will show all the mounts on the server. And the export list is going to be for a mount called helpdesk for anyone, so anyone can mount it. I'm going to make a directory for mounts. I'll just do this for mounted, and we'll just mount it. We'll mount this helpdesk and put it into this mounted. So do mount -T for the type for NFS. We'll do for NFS. We can specify 10, 10, 11, 65. We'll do this for helpdesk. And then we'll put this under mount, or under the mounted directory. So I'm cding to mounted. And we don't have a group under here, so we can't like copy, or we can't really execute commands correctly under here because it's really slow to execute. So it doesn't seem to be mounted. Let's go back into here, cding to mounted. Let's close this out. We'll do Control-Shift-O. Since this is not working, we'll close this tab. Do Control-Shift-O. I'll make a new directory for files. Not sure why this is not putting everything. This is weird. I don't know once I mounted, but we'll just do this for files. I want to copy. I want to go into mounted so I can copy all the files. Okay, there we go. Now it's letting me execute commands. Okay, so I'm going to copy -R. We'll do recursive for all the files in here. I'm going to copy all the files and put this into files. And the reason I'm copying this because we don't have any permissions to really modify or even check. Or usually to modify it. Maybe you can use like a chown to change the owner group for like for nobody to root. In my case, would be just for root. But not sure. This is taking forever. Let's go to files. Doesn't seem to be copied, so I'm just gonna unmount it. Let's go to mounted. Make sure there shouldn't be anything under here now. Yeah, we don't have anything under there, so we'll just do mount. We'll do -T for NFS. We'll do this for 10, 10, 11, 65. We'll try this one more time. And then this was going to be for helpdesk under mounted. So now we do have everything under mounted. We'll do else delay. I'm going to copy all the files. We'll put this back into, I believe, under files. So I'm going to copy everything under there. Finally, we got all the files mounted. I'll go to files. And now we can successfully work with everything. So we do have a Clark, PFX, Lewis, and Scott. I'm pretty sure these are not going to be their usernames. We can check Baker doesn't have a PFX. So I'm going to go into Baker cert. And the reason I want to go in here is because I want to find his email address. So we have his user as d.baker. Just to confirm that this is a user, I'm going to download curb root. We'll just get the latest release from curb root so we can confirm that we have a valid user on the box. So I'll just get this, Linux one right here. Go back. Where did we get this? We'll do chmod +x for curb root. We can do curb root for a user enum. We need to specify the domain controller for 1010 1165 for -d for the domain for Scepter HTB. And lastly, we can specify we'll specify a users.txt. Got the user.txt. And now we can do this for user.txt. And indeed, we do have the valid username as d.baker as caper.htb. So it's the same thing that we did find for what is under the cert. So you can go to the files, and that matches that Baker cert at the Scepter.htb. So we do have a PFX. I want to start raising PFX to John. I'll do this for Clark or for any of the users. I'll see if these have the same password. But we'll just start with the first user for Clark. So this is for Clark. I'll put this to we'll do this for #_Clark. I'll do John minus wordless equal to user share wordless rocky.txt for Clark. We'll do underscore. We'll do #_Clark.txt. We can do John for hash. We'll do minus show. And that Clark.pfx file we have this as new password. So I'm going to put this under users. We do have this d.baker as well as for PFX for new password. And I want to do the same thing exactly for the other users as well. So we'll do this for Lewis. And we'll change the name to Lewis just to make it organized. John minus show for #_Lewis .txt, and this is a new password as well. So I want to see if I can authenticate with Certify. So I'll do Certify AD. We want to authenticate with. We'll start with the Clark PFX, which I'm guessing we're probably going to need to generate a new PFX file for Baker, since we do have the user for the only valid user. So do certify AD for auth that, and then we'll specify the -domain controller IP for 1010 1165 -domain. We'll do Scepter HTB. Press it on that. We'll do -pfx for that, and we do have a invalid password for Clark. I'll do the same thing. We'll check the other ones for. We'll see. We have Lewis as well for that PFX, and we have invalid password for that as well. Okay, so we do have a Baker cert as well as a key. I'm going to be using OpenSSL, so we can export a new using the CRT, the cert, and also the key. we'll put this into like an in key and also a IN for OpenSSL. And from there we can output a new PFX for Baker. OpenSSL, we'll do PKCS for 12. We'll do minus export, minus out for Baker. I'll just keep it the same for just Baker PFX. We'll specify the in key. The in key is going to be the key for Baker. So we'll just do baker.key, baker.key, and then we'll do minus n for the Baker cert. We'll do a minus pass out for pass. We'll do this for new password. And now we do have the Baker PFX. We'll do a file for Baker PFX. And it seems like this, we can usually just cat it out as well. It seems like this is a valid PFX file. So I'll use certipy. We'll do this for auth. Minus PFX for Baker PFX. We'll specify the domain controller IP for 10.10.11.65. We'll do minus domain for Scepter HTTP. So we're going to try to get this TGT. And now we have the ticket as well. So we have the ticket for the credential cache, which we can specify like an environment variable for that to work. Usually sometimes it won't be like limited to like WinRM. So we can just simply use the ticket, which allows us to bypass authentication without a hash and to successfully just log in through like WinRM, or just basically on restrictions through like login or like remote management as well. On users that have remote management. So save the credential, we have the hash. I'm going to copy this put this into my text editor to just document everything. So now we have his hash. So now I'm going to start by using Bloodhound for Python. I'm going to start by inputting I'm going to create a zip file and output it into a zip file and then import it within Bloodhound. Bloodhound -u, we'll do this for d.baker. Specify the user. We can do minus hashes. We'll specify the hash for Baker. We'll do -d for Scepter HTTP. Specify the NS for the name server for 10.10.11.65. We'll do -c all -zip. Press it on that, and yeah, we specify the hash as well. So just making sure we have the hash and we're able to get all the information for Bloodhound. While that is outputting that to a zip, I want to go into opt. I do have a Bloodhound directory. I am running Bloodhound with Docker, so I can simply just use a Docker compose for up, and this will create a server or Bloodhound for 127.0.0.1 on 8080. Press it on that. So we have the server started. And I can enter my password, do admin. I'm going to cd into opt. I do have my password, so I'm going to probably cut this out. And we're able to successfully log in through Bloodhound. So I'm going to go to downloads or go to administration. I do have already the zip file uploaded to my data collection, so we can simply just go back to Explorer. And I'm going to start by checking for the user for Baker. So we have d.baker as Scepter HTTP. I want to start by looking into the user. I'm going to close this out. We have an outbound object control, which allows us to force change passwords. So we'll go into general. Bloodhound does give us a description, so we can read this. The user D.Baker has the capability to change the user for a Carter password without knowing the user's current password. So we'll go into, I'm gonna start by, we'll do Control-Shift-D. And looking at the Bloodhound, we do have this outputted to a .zip, which you can import. If you do want to import it, you can just go to, I believe, administration or one of these, and you can just go to one of these, and these will allow us to import that. Since we do have a force change password, I do want to use packet in packet for change password. We'll specify Scepter.htb. I believe the syntax is followed by the user that we do want to change. So in this case, we want to change for a.Carter. We want to do a -reset for alt user. We'll do this for D.Baker since Baker is the one that's able to change. We'll do alt hash and specify a semicolon for his hash. We'll do this for 1.8. So basically, I believe you can use a bloody AD as well. However, I like using in packet change password because anytime I do see a change password, I just know that I can just simply go to change password for the impact. I like using different tools for different scenarios, so it just makes it easier on me. But we can specify for the host name, for the or for the user that we're going to change the password for. We're going to reset, use the alt user for D.Baker, which is able to change for Carter, and then specify our hash. I'm just going to put this for pass. Getting an error for I didn't specify the IP address. We'll do 10.10.11.65. We'll do pass. And this will change the password for Carter. So we can do like a crack map exec. We'll do this for SMB for 10.10.11.65. I'll just do -u for a.Carter. -p for pass. And this should confirm that the password was successfully changed as it was. So let's go back into Bloodhound. Let's start by checking for the user for Carter. He does have an outbound object control. So I like putting this a little bit closer to each other. So we know that a.Carter is a member of the IT support, and we have a generic call. When you have a generic call, we're able to, let's see, we have generic call permissions for staff access. So I'm going to search this up. We'll do a generic call. We'll just do this for, I like using hack tricks. This shows up all the, what we have control of. So here we go. So we have a generic call. We have full rights to the object, and we can add users to the group or reset the user's password. So let's start by doing that. So I'm going to start by using a bloody AD. We'll do -d for Scepter.htb. We'll specify the -u for a.Carter. And for this command, we want to add generic all rights over the staff for access certificate. So let's go back. Go to generic all. So since Carter does have generic all, or for IT support, the members of the IT support have generic all permissions for the certificate. So we want to add the generic all rights for staff access certificate, the OU for the staff access certificate, and we can add the generic all for that. So I'm going to specify pass. We'll do DC01 for Scepter HTB for the domain controller. Do maximize DC for IP for 10.10.11.65. We can add a generic all, and we'll go back into the staff. Since we're going to be adding to the OU, we can go to the distinguished name. We can add generic all to a.carter. So now we have a.carter is now added to generic all. Usually at the end, to remember the syntax, I usually just remember by add generic all to the OU to the user a.carter. So now I'm going to be setting up the object. This time we want to set the object. We're going to set it the male attribute for to impersonate the other user. In this case, we want to impersonate for h.brown. So we'll set the object to d.baker, male -v for h.brown at scepter.htb. So press it on that. So now, looking back, we ran the bloody AD command for login as Carter for pass. We specify, if we go back to Carter, let's go to the object about control. This does have the generic all. So we specified, we changed the password for, or let's go to Baker. Let's go back just to understand this a little bit better. Baker. Yeah, so we force change the password. Then we go to a.carter to Brown, then to Brown. So we go to outbound. Now this is going from a.carter to the other user for h.brown. And since this has a generic all, we're able to use our password that we did change, specify the domain controller. We set the object to d.baker, male for h.brown. So now since we have d.baker set as h.brown, we can use d.baker's PFX to request a new, or we can use our bakers to request a brown for TGT for to log in through WinRM. So I'll do certify AD. We want to specify request since we're going to be requesting a new certificate now. So do -username d.baker at scepter.htb. We'll do -hashes. We'll specify the hashes for Baker. -target for, we'll specify the domain controller for DC01 for Scepter.htb. -CA for Scepter DC01 for the domain controller. -template. Press it on that. So hopefully we're able to request that certificate from Baker. So now we have the new certificate with our attributions to Baker. So we do certify. We want to do auth for PFX for d.baker. PFX will do domain controller -IP for 10.10.11.65 -username for we'll do h.brown. Making sure we have everything. Domain controller IP. We'll specify a domain for Scepter.htb as well. Press it on that. Now we have the credential cache for h.brown, and also now we have his hash. So I'm gonna copy this, we'll put this back into our text editor. So now we successfully got Baker as well as the NT hash for Brown. as well as his ticket for h.brown.cache. So now we have his cache. Make sure that we have h.brown.cache, and we can use evil winrm. So let me check what groups are under Brown. I'm going to see if we can use evil winrm for his groups. So he is under the remote management users, which should allow for winrm. So do this for 1010 1165. We'll do -h for his hash. We'll specify the -u for h.brown, press it on that, and it doesn't seem to work. So the reason this is not working is because we don't have, we need to do this through, since we can't do this, since we're not getting authentication through winrm, the server is simply just not allowing through authentication to through winrm through the port. So we can specify I believe it's, I forgot the file path. I think file path for port 8080 or port 88. It's under /etc krb 5.conf. I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and I'll tell the AI to generate me this this file for me to copy. We do also for krb 5.conf. I don't have anything under this file. I'm going to say, let's go into generate me the file for my domain. Name is Scepter.htb, and my domain controller is DC01 Scepter.htb. So we have the file. Let's copy this into, I'm going to VI into this, make sure we have everything. The main thing that really matters is the realms for the KDC, for the domain controller, as well as for the default domain, so we can make sure that everything is specified. Also, I need the for the cache. There we go. So I just want this name right here. So this is all we need. So I'm going to be exporting this is the specified variable to tell port 8080 to use our cache. The cache allows us to not use a hash for winrm, but just specify use the cache file without a password, to just straight ticket for the user. We'll see this. We have this for h.brown or h.brown.cache. So now if we run evil winrm for my site for 1010 1165, we'll do -u for h.brown. For the password, we'll do -r for Scepter.htb. We do who am I, and now we're under Brown. So we are under Brown. I'm going to open up a new terminal. I'll do Control-Shift-O. I'll go back into, I believe, we'll stay in files actually, since I have all the files in here, such as the cache and all that. So let me go back to ChatGPT. I do want to echo out I'll do $sign for the variable. I guess it's not exported, but so I'm going to export the name for, in this case, we're going to do h.brown for his cache. If we echo it, now we have that as cache. So we're going to use bloody AD. Bloody AD is going to help us to modify the alt security identities, the attribute for P atoms. So let's go back to, let's go to Bloodhound. We'll go to users, user at Scepter. We can go over here. I like usually going in order. So we can view, we have admin or administrator, D. Baker, Carter, and then Lewis, and then we have Clark. And we have P atoms. Let's go to P atoms. We have the outbound control. If we go to, let's go to get changes, general, we can perform a DC sync attack. So let's start by doing that. So I'm going to use Bloody AD. We'll do -D. We'll do the Scepter.htb for the domain. We'll do -u, which is going to be for h.brown. We'll do -k since we're going to be using the ticket directly. We'll do -host for, we'll specify the domain controller for DC01 for Scepter.htb. We'll do -dc for the IP for 10.10.11.50 or 10.10.11.65 for the domain controller IP. We're going to set the object. Set the object to p.atoms. And we'll do alt security identities. We'll do -v, specify x5. You can press enter on that. So we have the alt security identities have been updated. We can do the same thing. In this case, we're going to add now for the attribute for the email. We'll do we'll just do -d for Scepter. We'll do this for a.carter. We'll do -p. We specify the Carter pass or his password as pass. We'll do -host for DC01 Scepter.htb. We'll set the object to d.baker. Mail -v for p.atoms at Scepter.htb. DC01, press it on that. And when you get a valid credentials, we can use a in packet for in packet change password, which just changes his password to pass. Now, if we do run this one more time, this should work as mail -v. Let's get right. Let's go back to. Let's go back to the right. I believe we can do Bloody AD. I did set the we'll press it on that. So now we should have the rights. Press it on. So now the mail has been d.baker's mail has been updated. Play my terminals. Next, I'm going to start by exporting. So I export the, instead of using brown, I want to use d.baker. So I'm going to use certified. We're going to be requesting the certificate using D Baker's identity now. So we'll request to, we'll use -k. -k is going to use that D Baker cache. We'll do minus username for p.atoms, minus target, DC01-CA, p.atoms. Get present on that. Make sure we have the domain controller right. So after a while, I was able to finally get this to run. I just exported the CRB to the cache, and I ran the previous commands as well. So finally got that. I put it to a p.atoms pfx. I did request do an add generic all. So for like the staff access certificates for a.carter, as well as add the d.baker mail to match for atoms. So now we do have our p.atoms pfx. So I'm going to be using an impacket secrets dump. This will allow us to specify a specific user for administrator. So we'll do just dc-user for administrator. It's going to specify we just want the hash for administrator to log in. We'll do Scepter, Scepter add HTB. We'll do p.atoms. Add DC01 for Scepter HTB. We'll do minus hashes. Let me request this one more time. I guess we need to use a certify for to authenticate for this p.atoms. So do minus pfx for atoms or p.atoms. We'll do minus domain for Scepter. Scepter.htb. Let's put the IP, domain controller IP for 10.10.11.65. Press on that. Oh yeah, we need a request, so we'll do a minus username for p.atoms. Auth minus pfx. So now we can get the TGT for p.atoms. And then we should be able to use impact secret dump for using the hash. So I'll just copy this. We'll put this into our leaf pad. So I do have the tool already. So we'll do impact secret dump. We'll do minus just DC user for administrator. We'll do Scepter.htb / p.atoms. We'll specify the domain controller 01 Scepter p.atoms DC01.htb. We'll do minus hashes, specify the hash. Press enter on that. DC01, Scepter, HTB. Now we do have this for administrator. So I'm going to copy this, put this in my text editor. And we do have the hash for I'll copy this too. I don't have this in here. And now we have the hash for administrator. So we can simply just use WinRM. WinRM. Eval WinRM, we'll do minus I for 10, 1165. We'll do minus H for the hash. For administrator, go back, we'll CD into our desktop. We'll do dir, or we can type our root.txt. Well guys, pretty much in the video. So like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.